Hello, Michelle Gray. How are you?
I'm good, Mama Lisa. How are you?
You look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you very
Your
much. I
smile is
feel
so
so good.
pretty.
Thank
You
you.
give such a beautiful, your whole being lights up with your smile, and it makes
Thank
mine light
you.
up too.
Oh, thank
So
you so
put your
much.
sunglasses on, peeps. We're about to rock and roll with Adrian in the house. Hi, Adrian, Tall White, spokesbeing, I'll say.
Adrian is doing a it's so funny because I don't see him physically. Okay, so I see him in my third eye,
Yes.
and what he shows is this pure light, but I can tell he's doing like a bow, but he does it like this with his long fingers. Like I guess he did. So but he says, and he calls you Dr. Elisa. That's
You
how
don't
he.
have to do that.
No, I said to him, I'm like, you can call her Mama, and then Erik says, um, how he keeps bringing new beings to be part of the divine team, and he says, "Hi, Mom, I love you." He goes, "I keep bringing new friends home for dinner."
Oh, yes, and I know, and Adrian, thank you so much for being a part of the team that's trying to help so many people. And I think I channeled this from you, Adrian. I don't know if I should call you some like Dr. Adrian or something, Reverend Adrian. I don't know, but anyway, I'll call you Adrian.
Yes, says Adrian's fine.
Okay, to really work on the big global issue that Erik wanted me to work on, and that's to get rid of um, all the nefarious things that are affecting humanity, and shield all the life forms of Mother Gaia herself, and infuse the void left behind with love. I got a whole script. Um, okay, so we're going to try to save humanity. I know Tall Whites have been doing that for a long time, and I really want to thank you for that. Is there, Erik has me put on the Blue Fire Flame of Justice Shield and the Golden Shield of Protection. Are those two correct? And also, is there another shield that you want me to add? Because we're going to do a YouTube live and try to get everyone to do this on a regular basis.
So he's answering. First of all, he's saying yes, that you did channel that information from him. Um, he's talking about that all of these different energies, that everything nefarious and everything going on in the world, it's all energy. He
Yeah.
says, so that is he's zooming out, like the big picture of it is these are layers of energy, and so these shields are like he says, part of you, because it has to be a specific person, and he says everyone here has a part to what's happening with humanity right now.
Mm.
And for you, it's important that it is your intention, because there's a lot of power behind what you're doing. And he talks about the love, and part of why you are connecting so deeply to new layers of love is he says that he'd like you to seal everything in a green shield of love. So to seal it. And he
I was doing
says,
pink. It's green. Oh God. Okay, I've been schooled. I wasn't sure. Pink seems like such a fluffy, loving color,
well,
but
he
then
says
I heard
it is,
then green. Yeah.
but he says that green is what we use as a collective for the heart chakra. So he's
Yes.
talking about the belief. And then he also says that green has to do with the connection to earth,
Oh.
connection to the core of the earth. And so he says there is a great deal of power in green and the vibration of green, because it also has to do with honor and humility.
Oh. All right. So any other shield I need to do?
No, he says once you seal it, then it's about repeating it when necessary.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing it every day for 8 weeks, and and then twice a year. Erik said. I don't know. Is that right?
It is, and he's raising his one big long finger here, and he says, and do you know why it is eight? And he's doing this,
No.
saying eight,
Oh.
infinity. He takes the number eight and turns it on its side.
Whoa. Whoa.
Eight is infinity, infinity. And he says that is the continuous cycle. That is the cycle that will rotate for eternity.
Wow. Because that's how I found out with my dazzling rods. Zero more times a year, two, one or two, and for how many days or how many weeks?
Mm-hmm.
0 weeks or more, 1 week or more, blah, 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 till it get to 8 and then stop. Boom, that was it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel like it's my mission to coordinate it to where we have these YouTube lives. The more people do this, we do it at once to help all the Mother Gaia and all the life forms she hosts, basically,
That is
out of the goodness of her
absolutely
heart.
correct.
Oh, and I also play, they told me to play the 528 tone when I'm in my she shed doing that energy work.
Yes.
520, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. He's also saying 528, change, duality, infinity. 528, change,
Oh,
duality, infinity. He says purpose behind everything. There is
ooh,
vibration and a connection throughout the universe because everything follows through sound and
wow.
frequency. That's how everything is read. That is the language of the universe.
Math is a language. And then when I add 5 and 2 and 8, it comes to 15, and 5 and 1 is 6. That probably means something too, but we won't bother about that now. We're about to find out more about you. As an educator, this comes from another person, and thank you for these questions, everyone. I am interested in what you perceive to be the most important school to develop, skill, sorry, to develop in our youth during the ages 11 to 14. And I want to help to develop the higher selves of this generation of children.
Hmm.
Good. Bless you.
Yes, he says very good question.
Yeah.
He's making a very he's clearing my throat. I have to say too before I go further, what's very interesting today, and I noticed this the last time I channeled Adrian, is that today Adrian, his energy connects with my crown. So that's how I feel him come in, and so I recognize how he does that.
Yes.
But what's interesting is the last time this happened as well, I start to collect a lot of saliva in my mouth.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why that is.
You need a spittoon.
He just says it's just part of how my body is
Okay.
reacting to the energy and with the communication, the throat chakra. But he's talking about melding himself with me because I channel consciously. So that's very interesting. I just had to
That
share
is
that.
so cool. I just
Okay.
think he's wonderful.
He is. He is. He's very excited to be here too. So he says that's part of why I'm feeling that is he's moving in very quickly. So he says, yes, excellent question. He says the most important time in a human being's life has to do with the structure of their early years. And he says the one thing that prominently stands out in humanity right now with our adult population has to do with listening skills, the skill to be able to hear, the skill to be able to listen, and to not only listen to the sounds and the words, but to detach from the persona, to detach from the identity, and to pay attention to the sounds, the language, what is being communicated, not only with the words, but what is between the words. So, teaching a child to truly listen, teaching a child to really pause and listen to what is being communicated. Communication is so extremely important. And as children, impulsivity is something that is a natural part of the development, that impulsivity is something that society will sometimes help us push back, but it's not always a positive thing. Sometimes impulsivity can be told to one, oh, you mustn't say that because that's not good to say. You have to keep your mouth quiet. That's not polite. But he says what is most important is to say, oh, I feel like saying this comment, to tell a child, oh, hold on to that thought for a moment and listen to what is being communicated to you. How do you feel about that? Do you feel truth in that sentence? Is that something that means something to you? Is that
Mhm.
something that you will dismiss? That in turn teaches a child to listen to their internal voice. That is the most important thing that any one individual could ever learn.
That's true. Because children we sort of raise them to be externally directed. Like I say in my book, Hearing is Believing, how words can make or break our kids. If you We raise them even without realizing it and seemingly benevolently to be directed by an external compass. Even when we say, I'm so proud of you, that is telling the kid, okay, I better watch and see if mama's proud. Is this going to make her proud? Is this going to make her proud? Instead of saying things like, I bet you're proud, so they can internally direct their self praise or self reflect. Anyway, on to
Yes.
the next one. Please tell us something profound and surreal that we may not realize yet about reality or anything for that matter. You guys who give these questions, you're so amazing. God.
Well, I suppose profound and surreal, there could be so many different directions that we could take this question, but let us propose this to you and let you bring this into your consciousness and play around with this for the next little while, is to realize that what is said when we call you a multidimensional being, what does that actually mean? Well, do you realize that there is just a mere portion of yourself that is focused into this physical body? And do you also realize that as a multidimensional being, that yes, many of you know that you exist in many different places at the very same time, but what if in many of those different places that this was the dream, that this was the experience that you were having that truly is not reality, and that there are many more realities that are much more real? And because of that, let us flip the switch and say, when you are told and taught about astral projecting and lucid dreaming, you are told that you can go into that dream and you can then affect that dream. You can fly. You can do things that you didn't dream possible, the word dream. But what if we told you that you could take that very same thing and then put that into this reality? And is this reality exactly as you have taught it to be? May you ponder that and understand that you are living a dream. What do you inspire this dream to be?
Wow. That's awesome. Whew. All right. Do you have this is kind of a two-part thing. So, do you have some kind of monetary system on your planet? And also, another one seems like from the same person. Apparently, Bitcoin is a technology passed on to us by an advanced alien civilization. Which one is that? Is it even true? And why do they pass it on to us? So, all about money. It's all about the money, honey.
We do. We do have something like that, but understand that, yes, Bitcoin, it is something slightly different than that. It's something that the human race has not yet experienced, but will. It has to do with, see, money is connected to control. And the whole reason why the financial system on Earth was put together in the first place was to have a structure of control, a structure of power that was external. And so we do not exist with that I owe you or this is valued more than the other, but yet we use a sort of metal, a trade of metal, a trade of um, gases, um, a representation of money, but it is not the same type of system. We do not carry around wallets. We do not carry around cash. We do not have something that is um, monetary, physical in the hands as you do on Earth right now. And so we'll explain the structure to you to a degree so you can understand and know that this is how the future is headed for Earth as well, which is we do not have debt, we do not build debt, we do not owe, but yet we lend mineral, we lend to each other in what feels right for the uh, project. So, for example, if we are building something, if we are putting something together, is this for the community? What is this project for the community? And so, something that is good for all then has input from others. Um, it is not a structure that is held by one, say, as you have banking system. It is not held by a leader or someone that puts value upon it. It is more of a group, all of us that have say over where these minerals will be put into, where these values will be put into. And that is really the best way of us to be able to explain a structure that you yet do not have the comprehension of understanding.
Okay. So did Bitcoin come from start in an advanced alien civilization?
Similar to, yes.
Okay, that's what you said. And did you did that civilization purposely pass it on to us, or did it just fall into our hands? And so if they pass it on, why?
It was passed on. It was passed on to be able to start bridging new monetary systems.
Okay. And probably take the oppressive power out of the hands of the status quo financial system.
They are bridges. They are bridges.
Okay, good.
Bridges to help. As we said, the main structure is to have more of the people power and less
Good.
of the
Anchor power.
yes.
Okay. Is your race a type of gray, or is your race considered to be one of the Nordics or something else entirely? What do you call your race, and or do the humans here have a specific name to identify or refer to tall whites, right? Well, you can go ahead and tell us about your race is in any way you want, of course.
We would be most closely related to what you would know as the Nordics. The name Tall White has been adapted and adapted through humanity. We do not refer to ourselves as tall whites. In fact, the way that we refer to ourselves is with a sound.
Oh, can you make that sound? Is it something a human person cannot vocalize?
He laughs. He laughs and he says, "I'm sure Michelle could attempt it, but she may not want to watch this video back."
Okay, we don't have to do it. It's all right. I just made. That's it. That's your name. All right. What type of aliens live in El Yunque, a rainforest located on the east side of Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico. Da, 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 da. Go ahead.
He says Arcturian,
Okay.
and he also says Orion or the Orions.
Okay. All right. What are they there for?
And he says they've been there a very long time.
Okay. By the way, so many alien beings look humanoid,
Yes.
but I have a feeling it's because it's the opposite. That we look alienoid. Okay. So we have the two eyes and all that kind of stuff because we're partly bred from you guys.
That's correct.
Okay, just want to make sure. Now I did Jane McDougall, who's awesome, did a sort of a regression on me, and it seemed like there was these big domes on this planet that was kind of like a desert, but I could put my hand through the dome, and I felt like there were hybrid experiments going on there, and that I was a hybrid child, and then I was zoomed off to Earth to. I don't know if any of this is true because the ego can get in the way, but and then I went to then I was Arcturian. Anyway, is first of all, is any part of that true?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Then I was brought to Egypt during the ancient like Anunnaki, working with the good Anunnakis. I was on team on Inky, I think, whoever the good one is. Anyway, and to teach humans how to heal. Was that even true?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and then the bad Anunnaki got me and did something on. And my sister and Erik were part of that too. So that makes sense because what I feel my purpose now is to eventually teach with this global energy work is to teach us all as a collective, as many people as can, how to heal Mother Earth and the collective.
Dr. Elisa, this is so correct. And you feel this within your own body. You can feel this truth. And what we will say to you is that this is like playing out the modern version of what you have done before
I
with
just feel
a
so honored.
collective.
It makes me cry, the love I feel for humanity, Mother Earth. So I love to use that energy of love to transmute.
And we
energy.
love you for it.
Is this what Project Victory Earth is about? That my guardian angel Veronica?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anybody that y'all know that you're Veronica's humans, then you're part of Project Victory Earth, and we need to help humanity and all the wonderful life forms on it. So now, do you work with the Ponte or the Pontel to prepare for the official first contact? I don't know what that is, but maybe you do.
Some of us do. We all have we all have different sectors that we are more involved with. As Adrian, as my energy, I am aware of it, but I do not work directly with that. However, I am a sector of it as I am making contact as we speak, and that this contact is part of that, but a different sector.
Yeah.
There are others like me that work as part of our councils that are preparing and already making contact, as well as some that have been making contact for 25 to 30 years. Your time.
Oh. Is it true that all presidents of the U.S. presidents, probably other world leaders too, of course, but we'll just for the sake of this conversation, that the U.S. presidents are given the information that yes, there are aliens and here they are and things like that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there's a group of tall aliens in Germany. Are you affiliated with this group? The leader's name is Rudolph the Tall White Alien. Carl is his human host. Or is
I,
Carl just crazy?
mm, he laughs and he says, "Is Michelle crazy?"
Oh, I see. Okay, good. Well, I don't know. Jury's out on that. Just kidding.
He's kind of funny. You can tell he's got a bit of a sense of humor.
Oh, so
Yes, yeah.
oh,
He says that he would say that there is a connection. Um, he's not calling it we do not work hand in hand, but there is an awareness,
okay.
kind of as he described before, with all of us have different sectors, and we would call them contracts with
Okay.
human beings. And so this particular tall white, this is part of his mission, and with those that follow this individual. And he says that if you were to think of it as we were all fingers, all part of the same hand.
Oh, I like that metaphor. I have heard one astrologer say that there would be a nuclear catastrophic accident in the next few years. Is that true? Duck and cover.
Well, he says there are timelines, that there are some that have been already redirected, that would have taken place already in our current times.
Yeah.
In fact, there is one that we avoided in the last 5 years.
Okay.
Um, there is not a probable cause or a high probability that this will happen. He's being careful on how he says this, because he's saying that he does not want to create a potential of fear.
Oh
That
yeah,
is,
thought creates reality. Let's not talk about it then.
so what he does say is that this is a complicated answer to give a lot of truth to, because there are many factors that affect that answer. So astrology, he's saying, is showing at the time that that was spoken of, at the time that that information was put out, that very well could have been a potential that was seen. He says that has shifted since then. So if that were to be looked at again, that would show a shift, but it still could be said, depending on who is expressing it, as yes, because possibilities will to some look as yes or no, not as these factors in between.
Okay. I've heard that, every when the sun drops in the solar plate or whatever, when the solar system drops, I can't remember. It's like every 12.9 thousand years ago, maybe it's 25 point something thousand years. I mean, every 12.9 thousand years that we had some sort of cataclysm, and Noah's Ark flood was part of that, etc. And I understand that now, um, um, the the good guys do not want us to be destroyed as we have been, us humans, and driven to the hollow earth, etc., over and over again, because they don't want to teach us how to walk again. Oh my God, they have to learn calculus again. Oh, we're starting all over again. So from what I understand, we're being protected from that next big cataclysm. Is that true?
He says, yes, that is true. And he says, think of it this way, uh, to help calm some nerves, that those that are listening to this, that are feeling this information, um, are there difficulties that we are going to experience? Yes, that is true. There are difficulties that as a human race we will experience as we go through these changes. However, the in speaking of a major disaster and of the earth's history, look at the changes that are happening on the earth in evolution right now,
Yeah.
and look at how we are having this shift in consciousness and the help that is happening. There is a real conversation that takes place that all of you hear that says it starts with you. It is with you. Because in all existences of humanity that went through these changes on earth, they were not able to have that ability to be able to start with themselves.
Yeah.
There was too much of an interference of energy. There were other factors at play where the humanity and the collective were not able to step together first by going in within themselves. So if we were to give you a real hug with this answer, or the way that we would like to say it is, the very best opportunity is at play right now, which is why there is such dear importance to each of you understanding God, you are, God, you are, that you are God, God is within you, and you create from the existence and the connection to that love within yourselves as you create this reality. And within that, this consciousness shift is the biggest one that will ever take place in our history, because what we have known as history is not truthful to what we have been taught. And so, therefore, we are still writing our history.
Wow. That's so profound. So anyway, we won't get wiped off the earth again, have to start all over again.
That's the short answer, yes.
That's the short answer. That's awesome. Wow, this is an age of Aquarius, man. Is it true or false that we are going through a mini glacial period and temperatures are going to drop in the near future? I understand that this is part of Gaia's regeneration process and is happening because of changes in the magnetic field. Is that true?
There are some changes, yes, but mm, not to a major degree that we're going to see in this lifetime.
Okay. I asked Erik about global warming, and he said that humans really have a very small percent input into that. But I don't know if he said like 9% or something
That
like
is
that.
that is true. That is true.
We think we're so powerful, don't we? Mother Earth is so much more powerful. Why is the system of astrology created so that the movement of planets impact us individually and collectively, including the location of planets in our birth chart? Why astrology? Why do we
Mm,
why do we have that? That's a really good question.
That is an excellent question. And so, for those that think, oh, let me poo poo the astrology, astrology is not anything, I do not listen or follow astrology. Well, let us tell you how this affects you and how you are part of astrology. And so, how we will explain to you is that the stars, the planets, the existence that you see up in the sky is made of gases, of atoms, of neurons, of photons, of all of these little particles. And so we say to you, as are you. As are you, you are made up of the same thing.
Yeah.
And so, with this storm of molecules, as you came into the earth, you are part of what shifts. So when we think about ancient times, the ancients on your earth, not the ancients that you're connected to off the earth, the ancients understood this and understood that they were moved by how the planets moved because they were made up of the same thing. So we'll give you a brief example. Think of how the moon affects your feelings. Those of you have possibly noticed that there's a full moon out. Look what goes on when there is a full moon.
Must be
Look
a
what
full moon.
happens.
Yes. Yeah.
Must be a full moon. That is correct. Why is that? Well, the moon affects the water. You are made up of water. And so
Yeah.
the simple answer is that you are created of everything. And so there is nothing in this universe that you are not. The universe exists within you. And so when you came into this earth, there was a selection process of how you came into the earth, at what time the rotation of the universe was at. It had to do with the personality that you were selecting, the
Mm,
personality that you closely matched to with what it is that you wanted to do in this earth, where you have come from, what you have experienced before, because those things, those planets would help you accomplish and help navigate you through your experience. And so it is like a cheat sheet. It is like the cheat sheet for everyone on the earth to understand their structure
I
and to
love it.
understand it as a guide, not necessarily as a this is going to happen to you because this is taking place right now. But as we say, with any information that you are receiving as guidance, it is to understand it as your own intuition and to use it as a guide to then operate and make decisions, not because somebody else out there is controlling you, but because you are made up of the very same structure
Mm,
that is helping you.
wow. That just seems so true.